Good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Finale, and this is Real Estate Talk TGIF, episode 302. That's right, we broke 300. We're going to be at 6 years in June, so we're really excited about that. Great guests coming up. This is 299 weeks in a row, but we always have great guests, and we have great guests internationally, nationally, and locally. And I have been blessed to know so many different agents that are either new or getting started or have taken this thing to another level. And today I have a personal friend on here with me today. And I'm so appreciative of this man. I watch what he does. I watch how he does it. And we have a great mutual admiration society for what we both do. His name is Elias Christodoulakis. Thank you so much, Elias, for being on today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So we're going to talk about local things, but we're going to talk about national things. We're not going to get into the weeds on different things, but we're going to have fun. We're going to talk about how to help agents get started. That being said, this program is brought to you by njheroesprogram.com. Talk about that in a minute. Nelson, hit the videotape.
Real estate agents, are you looking to acquire clients consistently to grow your business and income for a great lifestyle? Well, this is Dave Finale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and the Modern Agent team.
Again, good morning, everybody. Dave Finale here, Real Estate Talk TGIF, episode 302, 299 weeks in a row. This program is brought to you by not only Real Estate Skill Builders, you just see there, but njheroesprogram.com, where we help veterans, we help heroes of all kinds, healthcare workers, teachers, postal workers, law enforcement. We help you get the home of your dreams and save you money at the same time. We can also help you sell. So anyway, that's njheroesprogram.com. Interested, find out if you qualify, go to njheroesprogram.com. Good morning, Elias. How are you today?
Incredible. Every day is a blessing.
Isn't it though?
I do believe it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were just talking offline about family and the support of family and how important that is. And I tell you what, I mean, it really is. But before we get started, I have one question for you. And that question is, you see the name of the broadcast is Real Estate Talk TGIF. What does TGIF stand for?
Thank God it's finale.
Woo! He got it right.
Made it.
That shows what a friend, he pays attention, right? I love that. I love that.
Every Friday.
Hey man, you've been in the business a couple of years. You started with a friend of mine years ago, but before you started real estate, you did other things. Talk to me about your life and your journey to being one of the top agents in New Jersey, right? Talk to me about that.
I grew up in Elizabeth. I was born in Jersey City and moved to Elizabeth, New Jersey with our family. Lived in an apartment building till we were about 18 years old. I worked in the diner business from 13 till about 23 years old. And I just, always had a vision of, success. And some people measure success differently than others. I just always, wanted the American dream, be a homeowner, have a family, kids, and do what I love. I love talking and servicing the people. So, our community, that is too. So what happened here is, I went to school. I did that college and went for computers to learn the trade, because back then, computers was big. And in the meantime, then I was still working at the diner. Me and my brother had a DJ business, so we were also DJing weekends, whatever party we can get, we did. So it was great. It was a great time. And it was just, I was going to school. I really didn't have a passion for the books and just sitting there and doing it. I worked with corporate America. It was very interesting, I would say. It was a rude awakening for me, where, I knew my value back then too. So I just put my time in, and it wasn't for me. I knew I wanted more out of life. So I did my corporate America, and I just never forget it. They offered me a raise. It was $25.
$25. What, a week, a month, a year?
A week added to my pay. And that $25 to me was an insult. Back when I was 22, I knew my value. So I didn't sign it. and we had a little disagreements. And at the end, the manager told me, he goes, please sign it, Elias, and don't worry, we'll take care of you in the future. There's a future here for you, et cetera, et cetera. So I did sign it. The following day or two, I gave him my 2-week notice. The 2-week notice came. I said, I'm leaving. I'm gone. I gave him the 2-week notice. That Friday, not one person came to me and said, Elias, thank you so much for all the effort you put into this. I mean, I'm a person, I started in the warehouse department. From the warehouse, I moved up into the corporate department where I would, dress up and be, corporate America, 9 to 5, have a 15-minute break to eat my little snack that they had, a little lunch truck. And then have, I think it was 45 minutes to an hour break, and then get back to work. And that was it. So I gave my 2-week notice, and the day I came, I'm leaving. Not one person said to me, Elias, thank you so much. It was like I didn't exist.
Yeah.
I was so upset. I was mortified. Yeah. I said, bon voyage. I do what I do. I book a trip to Greece, and I'm out. So I stay out there in Greece, try to figure my life out, etc. And then I just come back, and I started working full-time at a diner. And that diner is where the gentleman told me, he goes, Elias, just stay here, work as much as you can, save your money, and when the time comes, you'll figure it out. And I did that. So just in and out, working. I just saw my neighbor. My neighbor now is a unique individual, and he would drive around a Mercedes S400, I believe it was, and then he had a boat and always dressed up. I said, wow, what is this guy doing? I said, so I approached him. I said, sir, what's happening? What are you doing to, be in this kind of environment and be successful? And he told me, Elias, I'm a realtor. Go get your license, and I'll show you everything you need to know. So with that in mind, went to school. Mel Listener was my instructor. He's still around.
I remember Mel.
Yeah, everyone knows Mel, who's been through his school. And we went. I passed the exam, the school exam. They had to pass the state exam. The state exam was, pretty intense, but I did pass that. Then off to real estate. Here I am, out into the free world now. I don't know what's happening. I'm used to, guidance and people telling me this, that, the other. And I was on my own. And George was my broker, George Castro. That was my broker who taught me everything there is in this business. As you can see, I'm still wearing a suit. He embedded that in us. Like, you dress for success. If I was coming into the office and I didn't have a suit on or a tie, he would give me a tie. He would say, pick a tie. Are you going to play golf? What are you doing? He was like that. So with that in mind, he embedded the foundation for me in real estate. So I would make phone calls. I would prospect. I did all that because that was what the foundation was for the future to get me to where I am today.
Right.
With that being said, he would have cold calling nights. I remember he had cold calling nights every Tuesday nights. He would order pizzas. We would do the cold calls. And with those cold calls, I had to show him how many leads I got. Accountability. You see, that worked for me, till this day. But the accountability plays a big role. And we would show it to him. We would follow up and make the appointments. I was going on listing appointments, but I didn't know what to do. So my job was I got the appointments, and then I would go out with my mentor at the time, and he would go and close them. That was it. So it was great. I was doing very well. Still living home, and I did buy two investment properties at the time, and that was fun because here I am selling houses, and I don't know what it's about. So it does help if you don't own an investment property or a property, go out, buy it so you can see what it to be in the buyer's fleet.
Right. Do you think that's important for agents there's a lot of agents out there that never bought a home, that haven't bought a home, the young ones, right? Is that a deal breaker? Is it really important for someone to have that experience, or is it something that won't get in your way that much?
I do believe that it's good to walk the shoes of a buyer to see what the emotions are, what involvement it takes to get to that level of the closing. And after the closing, what comes with owning a property. I do believe it. You should definitely go for it and go with it.
So, all right. So you're with you're with George Castro, who at that time was Century 21 Atlantic, which is where I first met George. And then you're with him for a while. Talk to me about what happens after that and what changes you made.
Well, at that time, again, suit, tie, the whole nine. And it was just like, I want to come in as freely as I want, and just do my own pace. At that time, I did meet my fiance. At that time, she was a loan officer, so we started dating and we got together. So I proposed. So here we are now. I'm getting married, and I want to go for different avenues in my life and just grow. I gave my notice. I was like, listen, I'm going to grow on my different path, and he gave me his blessing. That was the biggest thing for me. He gave me his blessing. He said, Elias, you have my blessing. Go on. So I went to a mom and pop shop. The mom and pop shop was not where I expected. I thought I was like, all right, I built my name. I'm Elias. I'm ready to go. This is it. So I'm there for 2 years and doing pretty well, but not as well as I thought I was going to be. And I went to my broker at the time and I said, look, this deal is falling apart. I need some guidance. And he says, just put it back on the market. It will sell. And I said, well, I can do that myself, but you're a leader, let me do it, like that. At that point, that was my end. I was just like, all right, enough's enough. Let me go now to the big leagues. The big leagues for me was Coldwell Banker, Westfield. Their hot sheet every time. I remember from when I first started, that hot sheet was always hot with their name, with their list prices and sale price. I mean, it was a different caliber. And I always wanted to get my foot in that door, but how? Here I am, like, I don't know too much of this market, that market, how am I going to get in here? I believed in myself. I said, you know what? I deserve more. No one's going to, help me. So I had to do this on my own, So right. I reach out to the manager. He doesn't reply back to me. And I'm just like, hello, what's happening? He did reply back to me after the third time. He apologized to me. He says, Elias, I'm so sorry. We've been very busy. And now I know why. They're very busy. They don't have time for some emails, or they're very busy. So I finally got an interview in there with them, and they liked me. I was very happy. It was because, it was corporate. I wanted to get back into the brand. I need the brand behind me. And I had 3 interviews to finally get my foot in the door. I got in, and again, no one knows me in the Coldwell Banker of the Westfield office, and I got in. They welcomed me like I belonged there. It was the most warmest welcome I ever had. I'm just another agent just coming in, but they loved my energy. They felt me. At that time, now I just had my firstborn kid, and they showered me with all these gifts. It was just welcome. I was like, oh my God, like this is great.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yes, thank you. Now, here we are. Now, I'm in an environment where everyone is forced to be successful. You have to work. You want to be on the top agent list. You want to be top. You want to be there. You have to work to prove yourself. So how the hell am I going to prove myself now? Like, this is it. This is what I wanted. I got it. Hitting the pavement. And when I tell you that I'm hitting the pavement, I mean, from back then, I still door knock, I cold call, I meet people. I try to talk to at least 5 to 10 people per day to get their phone number and or email address to put them in my CRM in order for me to keep in contact with them, because it's a contact sport here. The more people you talk to, the more engagement, the more people will follow you and then know you. And little by little, I just kept going and just never gave up. So the environment made me right now where I'm at, because I'm around successful people.
So we talked about the other day, we're talking about environment, right? And one of the things that you found when you went there is, number one, you were accepted, right? Which is really cool. But the other thing was that you surrounded yourself with successful people. That's what you wanted to do. Because whether you knew it or not back then, you knew that the more success you were around, the more successful you could be, right? So there's I'm not sure who said it, but you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. And I truly believe that. This is why I do what I do and where I am. But I want to make the point really simply, and you can comment on it. Environment always wins. No matter what the
Absolutely.
environment is, the environment you're in is always going to reach out and make you either successful or not successful. Talk to me about that.
So again, I'm around successful people. I'm not hanging around with, people that are just happy and content with their life, which God bless you. You're happy with what you have. Enjoy it. God bless you. I'm the other person. I want more out of life, especially with a family. I have kids. I want to give them as much as I can. My parents gave us as much as they could, and I'm always grateful for that. I just know that there's more out there because I see other successful agents that don't even speak English language, and they're thriving. Why is that? Because it's a drive. We all have a drive inside of us. Are you utilizing it? That's the key.
You have the drive, you have the passion, right? And people will automatically see that in you when you come through. To me, it's probably the most important word in this business, and it's passion, right? And you show through with passion on everything you do, on your social media and everything else. Talk to me. You got started. You started doing really well and everything. Talk to me about the prospecting you did and the different types and what was successful, what wasn't, and why it may not have worked for you or why it did work for you.
I don't believe in anything that's not working. These are all trial and error. So, I remember I had a situation where one of my offers didn't get accepted. The listing agent went crazy on me. I just first started. It was like maybe 2 years in the business. And she just went off on me. She says,
Right.
You want business, go get it listings. Just like that. And I said, okay, not a problem. So what happens? I started door knocking. I used to go to ShopRite every Fridays. When the people get paid from their jobs, they would go to ShopRite, pick up their weekend food. I would get kicked out. The manager would see me and say, "Sir, you need to leave." I
What did you do?
I was giving out cards. Everybody that was coming out of the ShopRite with their cards, I was passing out my flyers. So I would jump around from one ShopRite to another ShopRite to another ShopRite. I wouldn't give up.
So quick commercial for Elias Christodoulakis is that if you want to grow your business, one of the things you can do that you probably never thought about was hang out at a supermarket.
Of course. Everybody's shopping. There's a human there. They're coming out. So I would just give out a card. But it was funny because I would get kicked out. The manager would come and say, "All right, you have to leave." I was with one of my other friends. We would do it together. And we're like, "All right, just pack it up. We'll go." We'll go from one place to another. So it was good. That one really didn't work, but it was good. Get my,
But you got your name out. You got your
Yeah.
face out there. Did you get any business that way, or was it just an exercise that put
It
you
was
out
an exercise. It didn't work out. The door knocking is the best way to get business now and before. So I was going from one.
I want to talk to you about door knocking. Okay.
So door knocking, it's very, very efficient because there's someone at the house, and you may not see them, but they're in that house because their cars in the driveway, etc. So my new angle, I've gotten a lot of business with that because I'm just tired of getting rejected from all these offers I'm putting in. Even to this day, I still door knock. So I remember hitting this one door. I hit a lot of doors and I got success out of it. Great. One door, and the gentleman went off. He goes, "I'm not selling." Old Italian guy, big. "I'm not selling. Leave me alone." I said, "Okay, sir. I'm leaving. Have a great day." He yells at me, "Come inside my house." I said, "Okay, let me turn off my car." So let me go turn off my car. I turn off my car, I go inside the house, and look at the house. He goes, "What do you think it's worth?" I said, "Listen, I really don't know. Let me do my research. I'll come back and I'll tell you what the value is." So 3 follow-ups with that. Okay. I got the listing after he didn't want me. So 3 follow-ups with him. I got the listing. I got the buyer out of it. So that's 2. Okay. From that buyer who bought the house with me, they listed with me. That's 3 sales off of 1 door. Why? Because I was just tired of getting rejected. I took initiative. And when I saw the guy, he was mowing the lawn that day. He was mowing the lawn. So I was just passing my car. And here we are. I got 3 sales off of that. I currently have a property right now under contract today from door knocking. This house is run down and it just doesn't look like anybody should be living there. The person lived there. So I would drive by. I give him my card every time. And the one time I drove by, he was outside. I said, "Oh my God, you live here?" And he said, yes. And small talk, he said, listen, Elias, I like your persistence because you've been coming here. Everyone leaves me cards, but you're the one that's come knocking on the door, etc. Because I am not ready to sell this house yet. Would you like my condo to list? I said, sure, why not? Let me take the condo. I take the condo, I list it, sold. He said, when I come back from Florida, you can list my house for sale. To this day, I have this property right now under contract. We started at 450. We've got about 27 offers. And I tell people because everyone's calling me, hounding me for this listing. I said, I door knock. That's how I got this listing. That's what you should be doing too. If you want to get bids that are winning, go door knock and you can get it. Guaranteed sale because you have the listing. Everyone's going to come to you. You're going to win, you know? So that it definitely works out.
So let me ask you a question about you just alluded to multiple offers, right? We're in a time, this broadcast is being broadcast March 22nd, 2024. Now, for those who might be watching this in a year or further out, this was a time you may remember that was lack of inventory, interest rates different than what everybody like perceived as normal, and it was not. The last couple of years, 2%, 3%. I want to tell you that we're at the high sixes now, and that is a really good number. Just so you all know, you don't throw anything at the computer to say I'm wrong or get mad at me. It doesn't matter. It's a good number, okay? But we're not used to that, and we're creatures of habit in this world. And we have now lack of inventory, so we've got multiple offers, and numbers are going crazy, Elias. You know that numbers are going real crazy. Is there a secret for you? Is there something that other agents and buyers are missing to get their offers accepted, or this is just the way it is?
It's the way it is, unfortunately. I know a lot of realtors, and it does help to know the realtor on the other end. However, at the end of the day, the seller's going to want the money at the end of the day. And terms. I always ask, what does the seller looking for? And they say sometimes, waive appraisal, waive inspection. They want to stay in the house for a certain time. Leave items in the house. That's a big key. Let me tell you something. To get rid of all this stuff that has been living in your house for the past 20, 30 years, let the seller leave them there and let the buyer get rid of them. That's another angle, my opinion. Yep. Again, just ask the realtor, what are they looking for? Again, you're competing against a lot of people. If you're not pre-approved, don't even waste your time showing people the houses. Number two, I do believe having the proof of funds available. People say, oh, I have the money. Show it. I need that. That's that's part of my offer in the contract, I call it ammunition. And just see what the seller wants. You have to work on their terms of the way this market is.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, we both know that, we live with it every day. All right, so that's multiple offers. That's that. So talk to me about your day looks like. I mean, you've been doing this for a number of years and you have a certain schedule because your schedule also includes your family, includes working out. And I want everybody to understand before Elias answers this question that number one thing that you and I have talked about over the years has been your family, has been my family, has been how we do it and what we do, what our workout routine is, all this stuff. So it all comes together. So talk to me about the schedule of Elias.
So I wake up at 4 a.m. I will get out of the house by 4:30 and be in the gym 5 a.m. So me and my wife, we work out together. And so one day I go, one day she goes. We alternate, and the gym has definitely helped me and my wife, of course. My wife started first, and then she was like, you need to join this. I'm like, I'm fine. Leave me where I am. I'm good in my life, etc. She goes, no, you don't understand. It's intense. This gym is not like the ordinary gyms. And I said, all right, let me go. Let me give it a try. So I go, I do, I'm up to like 85th class now. So it's addicting. It's stations. So you do your stations, you work out, you meet a great community. So I'm very, very fortunate with that. So I would work out from 5 to 6. So 6:30, I'm home. Breakfast is getting ready for the lunches for our kids. If my wife hasn't done them, then I do. We alternate because my wife works, so she has to leave the house by 6:30 as well. and go and teach. I'm always a teacher. And so then I'm with my kids till about 8 o'clock when the bus picks up the 2 kids. At that time, I'm left with the other 2 kids because I have a total of 4 kids. And by 9 o'clock, my mother-in-law will come and relieve me so I can go on my day. And we have other days where the kids, I would drop them off to their daycare. So I'm on the road now from 9 o'clock. So I go to an office, call a banker here, and I do all my paperwork, my follow-up, 9 to 10. It's great because you know what it is? It's very quiet in the morning. No one's out. Everyone's still getting ready, etc. So by 10 o'clock, I already did everything that I was supposed to do. Now, what do? It's time to prospect. So I go around. I look to see if I have any showings, of course, or listing appointments. I make those a priority. Then go out and prospect. How do I prospect? Is I go in and meeting people. How do I meet people? When I see someone out in the street, I'll go there and I talk to them. I just randomly pull over. I say, hi, how are you doing? I'm Elias. If you know anybody looking to sell, buy, or is there anything I can do to help you? Please reach out to me. You never know. By 12:30 or so, 1 o'clock, I'll have to eat. I'm a big believer that, you can bring home food from your house to eat too. If you can, God bless you, do it. Me, I like to go out to restaurants or diners, places locally, because then I meet the owner of the establishment. The establishment now knows me as a regular. Elias is here, etc. And to this day, I still get a lot of leads from a lot of owners that own diner, pizzerias, restaurants. So you have your lunch. Then now we got to follow up all the phone calls that I miss because I like to reply back. I can't take every phone call. It's just too much for me. I like to do time management, blocking it's called. So I like to get back to everybody I can and all the emails I can. I would say about 4 o'clock now, I'm headed back home so I can be home with the kids for their lunch and get ready for homework, dinner, etc. So you figure by 4 to 6 o'clock with the kids. Then they have to give them their bath, homework, etc. So by that time, it's like 7:30. Now you want to put them to sleep, so we got them all ready to go to sleep. And then Elias, with all this is being done, I'm not going to lie to you. The phone is ringing. I'm trying to answer the phone call. I'm trying to be home, so it's just be present. I know people tell you to be present. I am trying to be present, but at the same time, my business is nonstop. Thankfully, I'm blessed with the phone and just attending everybody I can. By 7:30, 8 o'clock, that's when I go jump back on the emails. I do all the offers I need to do or any contracts. So I do everything myself. I don't have a team. It's just Elias. I tried to before. I had an assistant. It didn't work out for me. So I like to have a little bit more control, and that's something I have to work on. But I like being, the front man with that. So I feel by 10 o'clock, I'm in bed sleeping. Back at it again the next day.
Right. I asked you that question, Elias, because you went through a lot of stuff, and I want to break it down a bit. So we talked about working your ritual for your body and your mind and your soul, right? And that's your family, that's your working out, that's you and your wife chipping in and have like this working relationship that is second to none about keeping the house going, keeping the kids going, sharing all that love and everything. Mother-in-law coming and helping you out in the morning. To me, I mean, this is one of the first things you and I ever talked about years ago when we first met. And I was like so respectful of how your time was set up with your family and your kids, because it's number one. And I want everybody to understand that growing a business such as Elias has is really not as difficult as one would think. I mean, it's not easy. It takes hard work, but it also takes the most important word, which is commitment, which is backed up by your passion, which is really, really important and necessary to grow your business. So that's the family, that's the ritual part, right? Then we go into what you're doing in the morning when you get to the office. You're talking to people just to talk to people, right? I love that because has anyone ever told you you're crazy for stopping and talking to them? Nope. See?
That's the thing. Like, you got to go out and talk. They're going to tell you, one guy did come to the door with his underwear on. He says, "Oh, I'm not interested." I said, "All right, my friends, I'm sorry. I'm leaving." He came in his underwear. I swear to God. I was like, "Oh my God, this is nuts." and I had left. So it was funny, but
So,
I took a
so all
chance.
right. So one of the other things that you said, which is really cool, and I wish everyone would listen to it and take heed, is you go out to lunch, diners, pizzerias, whatever it is, you go out to lunch, and you're meeting the people at the establishment, and you're talking to people, and I'm telling you, it's believe it or not, Elias, it's a strategy. It's a strategy I've taught in the past, but you do it every day. I mean, you're the living example of this strategy and how it works. You go there and people know who you are. You know everybody there because you're outgoing. You're talking to people. Look, people are probably saying, Dave, I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk to people. So I will tell you that either learn how to do that and be comfortable with being uncomfortable, or find another business to be in. Because as time is going on and our business is changing, as we all know,
Yes,
we're not going to get into that, but we all know that our business is changing. It's going to be so important that your passion translates to your communication, to your confidence, to your commitment to what you're doing. So you've got that going for you. You go back to your follow-up, and a couple of times you said, basically, you have a certain time set up where you're checking your emails, doing your follow-up calls, et cetera, et cetera. This all lends to the best schedule, the best example of a schedule that people need to listen to. I have a very good friend of mine out in California by the name of Brian Danny. Brian Danny, with a team, did year before, he did 100 million on his own. And then last July, he did 21 million in July, which is pretty an incredible feat. And he says it's all about his schedule. It's all about his schedule. He has family time scheduled. He has what time he takes a shower scheduled. He's got it all scheduled and on a calendar. I have a copy of his calendar, so I know it's true. I'm not going to share it here, but I know it's true. Has the schedule part for you, Elias, really made everything work easier for you?
absolutely. I know what I'm doing. I know at what time I'm doing what and what. And that is something that we all have. We all have the same time in this world.
Yes.
It's how you manage it.
Yes.
I'm not going to let anybody else dictate to me how I'm going to manage my time. I know what I need to do to get to X, Y, Z and how to perform that. You can't just drop things anytime and work on a fire alarm. This business and in life, you have to, once you have that schedule down packed, you are golden. It's like cruise control. You know what you're going to do at what time and go on. Things do happen, of course, but get back on track and keep going.
So that's really important point. Things do happen. So I'm a proponent of the schedule and like being really stuck to it. I preach it, I coach it, I train it. It's the schedule is, I look at it this way. If you're going to work 8, 9, 10 hours a day, you've got to have at least 33% of it, a third of that time, which is absolutely non-negotiable. I mean, your schedule was well pat, and you know what you're doing with it, right? But that 33% has to be follow-up, has to be lead generation, et cetera, et cetera. It's non-negotiable. And what you said was that things do happen. That's right. One of the things I've always tried to do is say, look, those 3 hours, you don't take calls from attorneys. You don't take distractions. But you know as well as I do, Elias, it's going to happen, right? And one of the things that you've done is that time, somewhere along the line, you're making it up during the day where you might get distracted. My guess is you don't get that distracted, that you're ready to go. Does distractions come up in your business as well, and how do you handle them?
It does, and I try to get back on it, especially, I like being on Instagram, Facebook to see what he or she is doing. And I always think of something. I'm like, I always think of successful people, like, is this person doing this right now? Hell no. And I just shut it down and I go on to my to-do list. Even at nighttime, I find myself going on through Instagram, see what they're doing. And I'm like, would this person be doing this right now? No. And I get back into, I read books at nighttime, etc. So it's great, but you gotta, it's a snap. You gotta get off of that and get back into what you were doing, because it's not productive. It's not productive. You gotta get back into doing something that's gonna be productive. That's gonna generate you something for the future.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there, and it's true that to them, Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media is a point of relaxation. I want to tell everybody out there that will be watching this anytime is, yes, I agree. But I also know that it is the biggest time suck and the biggest hole that you can get stuck in. So what I suggest you do is, if it's during the day especially, set a timer, right? Set a timer. And that's what I do, because I know that I'll get stuck. And the next thing I know, it's 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, and I don't remember why I went to Facebook or Instagram. I won't remember what I was doing. So it's really important, guys, if the moment you open up one of those applications, go to your phone and say, hey, Siri, give me an 8-minute countdown.
I don't see an app for that. You'll need to
shut up.
download one.
Anyway, that didn't work out well. But the point is, you set a time frame, and it allows you to limit your distractions. One of the funny things you talked to me about the other day was you talked about George Castro and how you learned how to follow up on stuff. And he was extremely a big advocate of follow-up, but also accountability. Talk to me about that experience with George and how it helped you grow your business.
So basically, you're getting leads. So I was on Floor Time. I still believe, so if you have time, Floor Time, sit on it, because it's a great avenue to generate leads. You don't know what the next deal is going to come through. So I was getting leads because it was my time to be on the desk. So he knew, what lead was coming in for where, what property. It was just, he had it down to a science. And every week, he would show you the list. He would say, Elias, what happened to this customer? What happened to this person? This. He had to know what was going on. Why aren't you showing them houses? What's going on? It was like embedded. That buyer or seller, they are going to eventually buy or sell. It's your job now to be in constant contact with them and provide them the service of wherever they wanted to buy or sell. So it was very, very intense. It was intense that I had to make sure these people were going to use me as their home purchase. Fast forward, 20 years from now, to this day, people I still work with that I've sold houses to back then. It's just, you plant the seed with the one family member, it just spreads everywhere. And one thing I could definitely say is, like, I'm not a pushy, one of those pushy people. When the buyer finds the house, trust me, they will find it and they'll let you know. You tackling them and making them sign contracts or making them sign listings, it is so unprofessional. Just be, relaxive, be professional. When the time comes, they will buy. Just, know your role. Just don't. I hate when people push me. Don't push me. When the time comes, they'll go through you. Be professional.
So I get that. Be professional. Don't be a pushy person. Don't be a used car salesman. I get that. But the process of staying in touch, the process of follow-up. I mean, you said you told the story of the guy on the lawnmower and the guy coming to the house and saying, get away from me, I'm not going to sell. And then you did, and you stayed in touch with them. So talk to me about the difference or the fine line between being annoying and pushy and being relationship building. Talk to me about the difference.
So for me, relationship building is it's a friend's birthday. Everyone's on Facebook. They tell you it's their birthday. They write Facebook, happy birthday, etc. I take a video of myself wishing the person happy birthday through my through an SMS message. I send a message and they love it. So that to me is like being more genuine and being different. Everybody writes on their Facebook, happy birthday. I send them a text message, happy birthday, best of luck, etc. Same thing when it comes towards like Christmas, New Year's, all these holidays, etc. Everyone, I send them messages, happy New Year, happy birthday, etc. That's my contact versus everyone writing on Facebook. Now, when it comes to people who just want to dissolve and we ain't going to work, we have the CRMs, and you see some people just, unsubscribe. Fine. That CRM does keep, constant contact with people. Do I depend on it? Absolutely not. I don't. I'm just telling you the truth. I believe in just more personal, and they'll see me through, the social media platforms, or if I see you out in the store. I've run into a lot of my past customers and places we talk, etc. So it's just you have that kind of bond with certain people. Either you're going to work with them or not. You know, within the 3 seconds, you know if you're going to get along or not. If you feel like, it's not going to work out, no harm, no foul. Move on.
So you do know that, and sometimes, you do feel pushy, or you do feel like, oh, I got to follow up with this guy. If someone says to you, okay, let's I'll give you a scenario. So you call it for sale by owner. Let's just say you call it for sale by owner, or you knock on a door, and they say, well, you know what? Why don't you call me in about, I'll be ready to sell or ready to buy in 3 to 6 months. So call me in 3 to 6 months. Are you calling them in 3 to 6 months? When do you call?
You do call them.
You call them before the 3 to 6. Or you calling them after?
Or you call them like a month before. Say, how you doing, Mr. Seller or Mr. Buyer? Just wanted to follow up. I know you said you'd call you in the next month or so. I'm just doing what you told me. We're not ready yet, Elias. Thank you. You see, that's the key. You told me to call you in 2 months. I'm calling you in 2 months. Here I am. Just want to remind you I'm still here for anything you need. I'm not a person where you're going to ask them, sales. They already know you're a realtor. Ask them something else. How's the family? How are the kids? How's the weather? How's your health? Health is a big thing right now. Make sure everybody's doing well with their health. And just be human. That's the biggest thing I would say for 2024. Be human. And by that meaning, just be genuine. Be a good person, because we need more good people than more assholes that there are out there. Nasty people. A lot of nasty people.
So just about those with the nasty people, and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to talk a little bit out of school here and just say that some of those nasty people are realtors, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's difficult, and we've got some changes coming in our business. I said I wouldn't talk about it, but I want to ask one question, and the question is really simple. What do you see moving forward from March of 2024 to March of 2025? Do you see many changes in people? Do you see many changes in how our businesses run? What will, and add to that, what will Elias do differently?
Of course, I do believe that, the changes are inevitable. Everything changes. That's just the way life is. That's how our business is. Nothing stays the same. It just happens. And what I do believe, I still think sellers are going to be able, my opinion, sellers are going to co-broke because they're going to want their house sold. That's just my opinion. They may not, we can't advertise it. It's just like commercial brokers. They have their listings. If you call them up for their properties to sell or show, you'll ask them, are you co-broken? They'll say yes. So that with the buyers now, agents, you're going to have to learn to adapt with that and, show them your value and why they need you to be able to get them through this house and walk them through this journey, because it is not easy. Let me tell you, it's not what people think it is. Now, with the agents being nasty, oh my God, please, oh my God, it's not good. Guys, we're here together. We're here to work together. It's me and you on the field. Buyer, seller, they're going to leave. So relationships, even when COVID hit, is the most current value we have. You have that relationship, you can thrive throughout everything. If you're nasty to your other colleague and you want to show their listing, they're going to remember you. Trust me, they will say, I will never, ever want to work with that agent. They're going to, throw you through the mud. There's no need. Just be. No. I have 27 offers right now on this property here. And I return every phone call for that agent because I know what it's like to be on the other side. It sucks. But what can I do? Nothing. This is how the market is. The seller dictates who they're going to go with, but I pick up the phone and I talk to them and I calm them down. It's overwhelming for me because the phone doesn't stop ringing. It just keeps going until I get this thing off the market. But it's human. Just be human. It's just say, listen, I can't help you right now. Good luck. We'll keep going. And I do tell them how I got the listing. I tell them I door knock. That's how I got the listing. So if you want to get your buyer a house, door knock and you'll see what happens.
Okay. So Elias Christodoulakis, what is the number one prospecting method that you believe in today? And what would you do for a second one?
I love door knocking. It's the best.
I know.
Because you're talking to people. I love talking. I'm telling you, it's.
So let me play devil's advocate. But Elias, I don't want to annoy them. They're going to come to the door and tell me to go to hell. They're going to curse at me. They're going to throw shit at me. Well, I don't want to door knock. I don't want to. They're not looking to sell their house. Why would I do that?
because you're in person, they can't hang up the phone on you. Usually, they hang up the phone on you. I will call back and say, do we have a disconnection? You play a little bit. You got to have fun. I'm sorry. If they get nasty with me, I'm going to get nasty with them. Do we have a disconnection? And we lose. So fine. We move on. No. To this day, I've sold a house to some gentleman, over $3 million worth of real estate, because I picked up the phone. I called him. He was a for sale by owner, way out of my comfort zone. I called him. I showed him the house. He says, I'm not home. Go look at the house. Leave me alone. I go, I see the house, and I look in his garage. He had a Ferrari in there. And I said, forget the house. I love the Ferrari. And that was it. That's what triggered this guy. He loved me from there on after. We're friends to this day, 18 years later. But I built a relationship because of his vehicle, not his house. I saw what he liked, and I like cars too. So I said, brother, what's happening? And to this day, we're still friends. So I sold his wife a house, $1 million. I sold him another house right now, currently under contract, $1 million, and his son. 3 deals off of 1 phone call. And it's relationships. It's the best.
It's all relationships. And you know what? It's funny. I have several weeks ago, we had Oscar Nunez on. Young guy. Right. Exactly. Right. Good guy. He was on, friend of mine. He was on years ago. And he always told me that the problem that he had in his business as a very, very young agent, because he got in, I think at 19. I said to him once, I said, Oscar, what was the biggest problem you had starting your business? He goes, my face. And he went on to say, and several times I talked to him, I saw him the other night, and he said that he would make cold calls. He would call for sale by owners, expireds, and cold call. And the problem he had was his voice didn't sound like he looked.
Yeah.
So he just abandoned the phone in the beginning and just went and targeted door knocking. That's another style of door knocking. Not going to get into that now, but it was door knocking, where he could start a conversation. He's a very caring person, knocks on the door, starts talking to people, and there was never a question who he was, or what he was going to do. So so while I am personally not a huge fan of cold door knocking, I know how it works, but I also know that it takes passion and a relationship building atmosphere, attitude to get it to work. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. 100%.
Okay. So I could ask you one more question about that. So people don't want to door knock. What's the next thing they should do? What's another lead generating process they should use?
Business owners. If you know a lot of business owners, barbers, salons, you get your nails done, tailors, all these other avenues that you're spending your money that you worked hard for, ask them, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, can I leave my business cards here? They're going to say, yes, sure. Why not? Why don't you, that's, physically like that. Another avenue, it does help me because people always seem like, they always text pictures of me. Oh, damn, Elias, you're here, you're here, there. I'm like, yeah, I'll leave my cards there. I spend my money there. I want them to advertise for me. We help each other. Number 2 is through the social media, Instagram. When you're at a restaurant, tag the environment where you are. And my gym, they always publicize me. I help them. We help each other. It's co-branding. We're communities help each other. You see? So the restaurants, I tag them in. They repost me. So they're amplifying my name out there, and it helps. LinkedIn. I've gotten so many listings through LinkedIn from other realtors that refer me business out South Jersey, and it helps.
So talk to me about LinkedIn, because I think it's an untapped place to go. It's an untapped system. So talk to me about LinkedIn. What's happened with LinkedIn for you?
I think because certain work environments, they don't allow Facebook, Instagram, they're blocked. You can't access them where you're, you're working now. You're working for me. So they don't let you, have a great life, whatever it can be. I don't want to get to that subject, but LinkedIn now, it's a business. It's a different caliber where, people are always looking for job placements, etc. And here we are, realtors. You should be publicizing on this, a newsletter or whatever kind of information you may have on there.
Right.
And I asked, I got a listing like this one time. I said, how do you hear about me? She goes, I saw you on LinkedIn. I said, wow. So LinkedIn works. So definitely those are great platforms. Great. Now, I don't know if it's on the subject or not. TikTok. I don't know if you're getting business from this. May God help you. If anybody got business from TikTok, please call me. I would like to know how you're doing with this, because I don't have the time to sit there to make videos and dance for 3 minutes. That's going to happen. You hear me? It is not going to happen. I can't. You know what I can do in 3 minutes of my life?
Never get it back, baby.
I can't. I just don't see it.
So I'm gonna give you a hint about TikTok and what you can do on TikTok. Just take some of your other content and repurpose it and put it over there. You know what? It is what it is. I see people posting on Snapchat and TikTok and just putting up what they're thinking about. They just type it out. I don't know what that does for people, but you know what? It's what I see. Hey man, this has been a really great broadcast, talking to you from your heart, and that's what I knew I would get when we decided to do this together. And I want everybody to know, first of all, before we get to Elias and end this next week, we have Ryan Young. If you have never ever heard of a company called Fellow, Fello, look it up. It will help you get listings. So Ryan Young, who I met at a Chet Black event a number of months ago, he's going to be joining us next week to talk about how he has built his business with it and how he helps a lot of other teams and companies across the United States and Canada with his company called Fellow. So Ryan Young next Friday. He's an amazing cat. You're going to love him, right? So Elias, we've got just a few more minutes. I got two questions for you, and then one last thing. We have your Instagram up. We have your contact information up, and you're an agent surfing through this real estate business. You're doing okay, but not great. You want to do better. What's the one thing they should do?
Don't give up. Giving up is the easy part. Break through those barriers. It's very, very challenging. I agree. We're all going through it. But giving up is not the answer. You're letting your family down. You're letting yourself down. And your community. Just do it, because at the end, there's only be a few left, and that person should be you, not other person. Give it 100%. I understand we're all human. Please take a day off, relax, but get back to it, because real estate and being a realtor or mortgage company, whatever it is that you're doing, there is always going to be a need for us, and that's because you bring value. When you bring value to yourself and to other people, you are indestructible. That is the key. Don't give up.
Awesome.
And one more thing before I forget, you see the realtor pain. Don't be a secret agent. I always learned that,
Right.
Let people know you're a realtor.
Absolutely. 100%. Hey man, I want to thank you for being on the broadcast today. I have one question for you and one other thing. The question is, how do I help you grow your business?
By doing what you just did, helping us realtors on these platforms and showcasing our value of what we can do to help each other. I listen to your podcast every Friday. You have them, and I always say, hopefully I'll get on this Zoom, and here I am years later. It's not just slow. This is years I've been watching you, and I always know that you give out a hat. Maybe is it that you do? Oh my God, there it is.
There it is, man. You wanted a hat. I said, because we've been in touch a lot lately, and you wanted a hat. I said, well, dude, you got to come on broadcast. And here it is. Hey, man, God bless you. Thank you so much for being on. Stay on for just a second as we go off. And that's it. Remember, we got Ryan Young next week. We got Haas Pratt coming up in the next few weeks. We got so many great guys coming on. Just great entertainment and great information, which is what we do here at Real Estate Talk TGIF. Nelson, hit the video.